Are we in the midst of an Eagles dynasty?
No, don't say that. Don't wish that to existence.
The question needs to be asked.
The NFL doesn't need that. The NFL doesn't need Eagles fans to be any more cocky than they are. I don't care how Jaxson Dart do it. It's your first year. As long as you show glimpses and win games, I think Dayball gets another shot next year. And as long as Malik Nabers is happy. Because Malik Nabers wasn't happy when Russell Wilson was playing. Wasn't happy at all. To be frank with you, DT, I think the Ravens are tied to Harbaugh. I feel like they act like they're indebted to him. I love Harbaugh to death. It brought me much joy when they beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. It brought me much joy to see, Ray Lewis get that last Super Bowl, to see Joe Cool get a Super Bowl, to see, rest in peace, Jacoby Jones get a Super Bowl. So, brought me great joy. But I think it's time to move on. I think it's time for a lot of teams to reset on the coach. Not saying the team, like you said, their roster is what the Eagles roster was last year, in my opinion, with all the stars they have on their defense. I mean, not on offense, but on their team as a whole, their offense and their defense. So I just think it's time to reset on the coach.
I don't want to get this. Texans are done. In the AFC South, the only question left, Colts or Jaguars? Who's really in control of the division?
And while we're at it, buy and sell. Bryce Young is going to have a better NFL career than Michael Penix Jr.
Plus, Giants fans, you better get used to the name Cam Skattebo. He needs to be the lead back over Bracey and second in touches only to Malik Nabers. No question about it.
You're listening to Bring the House Podcast, episode 4. We've got headlines, hot takes, and deep dives. Everything from the Ravens Super Bowl chances to whether the Eagles can repeat, and even Jaxson Dart can prove it in his first start.
And of course, we're bringing your fantasy and betting talk. DT's 5 hitters are back and locked in for this week.
Let's stop wasting time and get straight to it, because we've got a lot to say and not a lot to filter. Texans' chances of going to the playoffs just walked out the window. Who's leading the pack in the AFC South? The Colts or the Jags, DT?
That's a close one. The Colts have a better record at 3-0. Jags are 2-1. But I think the Jags have the better quarterback. And in the NFL, quarterback wins. So let me take the Jags temporarily. It's early in the season. Let me get to about week 5. But right now, I'm standing on the hill. I'll take the Jags.
Yeah, DT, I totally agree with you. The Texans are cooked in the AFC South. I'm going to go with the Colts. I believe in Peyton Manning Daniel Jones to go ahead and lead the Colts to the playoffs this year, get paid, and as I said a couple episodes ago, be trash the next couple seasons. So I'm believing in the Colts. Ooh, are you buying or selling, DT? Bryce Young will have a better NFL career than Michael Penix Jr.
Absolute buy. I believe in Bryce Young. I'm seeing college Alabama Bryce Young these last few weeks. It hasn't been consistent. It hasn't been whole game performances, but you're getting absolute flashes of what used to have him compared to a smaller version of Patrick Mahomes. I love what I'm seeing out of his development. I think that the Carolina Panthers should stick with it and continue to develop him. They've built a good offense around him. Not to say that Penix doesn't have he has an elite set of weapons and talent around him. But Bryce Young, all he needed was weapons. All he needed was the blockers, and he needed a good offensive system. I think he finally has that, and he can really show us his potential in the NFL. Penix, on the other hand, I never really liked his delivery. I never really liked his footwork. Against the Carolina Panthers, they lost 30-0, I believe it was. And the whole game, you can see Penix kind of affected and impacted by the pressure, both when it was there and when it wasn't. And then on some of those throws, including the pick six, he didn't have his feet in the right position to be able to try to make that throw, leading to what I saw from him at Washington. So, with that being said, it's cut two bad weeks in a row for Michael Penix Jr., and I'm starting to be out like I originally was.
Hey, DT, I agree with you to an extent. Both of these quarterbacks are backup for me. However, Bryce Young will have a better career than Michael Penix Jr. unless Michael Penix Jr. can fix these little mistakes that he is making when it comes to his form as well as his accuracy. If they can both get consistent, they may have good NFL careers. I don't see stardom in any of them, but they may both have good careers. But I do see Bryce Young having a better NFL career than Michael Penix. So I guess with a gun pointed to my head, I'm buying.
I think you'll be rewarded. That's a good investment.
Skattebo is electric, DT. Do you think he needs the second most touches on the Giants besides Malik Nabers?
Absolutely. I think for me, it's about identity. And right now, the Giants offensively are struggling to have one, while their defense is really, really humming in ways. And so their pass rush is getting after quarterbacks, being physical, and they need that element on offense. And Cam Skattebo can provide that. And it would be a better fit for Bracey for Cam Skattebo to pound defenses and then Bracey to come clean it up, as opposed to the other way around. And it also helps with the play action, maybe getting Nabers open a little deeper down the field more consistently. So I think Cam Skattebo is the number one back and should be the number one back for the Giants. He should get about 20 carries, maybe 5 or 6 receptions every game. And if you got to take something from Bracey, you got to take something from Wan'Dale Robinson, so be it. But the guy is electric. The fans love him. He plays a violent brand of football. And right now, the Giants have no identity, and this could be their opportunity to seize one.
Yes, I totally agree with you, DT. Cam Skattebo reminds me of when the Buccaneers had Mike Allstott. He has that appeal about him. It's not just the skin color, but he has that appeal about him. He's hard, he's rugged, he likes contact, and also he makes plays. I totally agree with you. He does need the second most touches besides Malik Nabers, and the game planning needs to be around those two, regardless if they double team Malik Nabers or stack the box. The game plan needs to be around Cam Skattebo and Malik Nabers, and all of the other portions of the offense, such as Tracy and any of the other no-name wide receivers on the Giants, need to be. Hey, BT, do you think the 49ers have enough to make it to the divisional round?
49ers fans, 49ers nation, are y'all tired? Do y'all have any ACLs left? Do y'all have any feet left? Man, it's 5 or 6 years in a row y'all had the injury bug plague the entire franchise. No, y'all do not have enough to win in the divisional round. Y'all barely have enough to make it through the season. Yeah, next year the NFL needs to give y'all 106 players over everybody else. Y'all need a second roster because at this point, Brock Purdy, even though he's coming back, Nick Bosa, he's out for the year. You're hoping and praying for Christian McCaffrey every week. George Kittle can't get in the end zone. He's struggling to stay healthy. And you got Deebo Samuel out the building. He used to stay hurt a lot, but he gone now. So I don't see it. Unless you're finna make Jennings a number one receiver or a number 2A type of guy, like a T. Higgins, he could go get that level of production out of Jennings. I mean, what are we doing here? So no, y'all don't have a pass rush. You don't have the offensive firepower. Y'all can't beat the Eagles or the Buccaneers. Be for real.
Yeah, DT, I totally agree with you. The 49ers are on life alert. All these injuries from Brandon Ayuk being out since last year. Now you have another season-ending injury in Joey Bosa. At least Brock Purdy and Jawan Jennings are coming back this week. However, I don't think that's enough to propel your offense to that next level or to the next tier of teams. And it's definitely not enough, and sure not enough, to beat the Eagles, the Packers, these teams with close to elite offenses that can put up a plethora of numbers. Even the Lions, I can name multiple teams that are in the NFC that will dominate the 49ers without their key players. So, no, I do not think the 49ers will make it to the divisional round. And to be completely honest, I don't even think they're going to make it out of their own division. It's early in the season and you're experiencing this. Week 4 to be exact. The injury bug has hit most teams in the NFC West, even the Cardinals with a season-ending injury to Connor. However, they still have more firepower than you. And we're not even going to speak about the Rams, who have way more firepower than you. So, no, I do not believe they can make it to the divisional round, and I don't believe they're making it to the playoffs. I still think the Rams are going to take the division, but I would not be surprised if the Arizona Cardinals do as well.
Let me ask you a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Kind of a side topic. Minnesota Vikings and a J.J. McCarthy or Carson Wentz that might be starting at that point, depending on injury, performance, whatever. If the 49ers kind of use their strength and their willpower, which they have that in droves over there, if they use that to win the division and host the Vikings in the first round, can they get over on a journeyman quarterback in Carson Wentz now and a rookie quarterback really in McCarthy? Can they win that game if they host the Vikings in the wild card?
Yeah, I can see them beating the Vikings. To be completely honest, I'm not sold on J.J. McCarthy. I'm not sold on their defense. I think last year's defense for the Vikings was a fluke. Dallas Turner still hasn't showed up. So I do think they can go overcome the Vikings. Now, past that, no. I don't think they can even overcome the Buccaneers, to be completely frank with you, with the grit of Baker Mayfield leading that team and the knowledge and the vet presence of Mike Evans being a former Super Bowl champion. I don't even think they can get past the Buccaneers. I think the only team that they will be able to get past if they make it through the playoffs is the Vikings.
It's a narrow path, even just to the divisional round.
Exactly.
But how you doing? You doing all right over there? Anything happen eventful for you in this past weekend? Anything maybe say in like Ohio, to be specific? Cleveland, maybe? What are your thoughts?
I truly believe that the Cleveland area, and shout out to the Cleveland area people. I love them.
Shout out to Joe.
I was up there for 3 months. The Cleveland area people, the people in that area are full of life. Great people. Love them. But that area is boring, and it haunts me because I did not have a great time while I was up there. Again, shout out to the people and the company when I was on my internship that took me in. I appreciate you. But that area, I was not a fan of. And I've never looked back since 2018 at going back to Cleveland. Never even thought about it. But somehow that area keeps haunting me. Somehow it just keeps creeping into my memory and into my daily life. And now it's affecting my football. I'm sick of it. And the special teams also sucks for the Packers. What else is new? But it took a miracle for them to beat the Packers in the best defense in the NFL. That's not to say my Packers didn't have anything to do with that loss. The play calling was lackluster. The performance from Jordan Love and those wide receivers not getting open was lackluster. The O-lineman, I have never seen an O-lineman in my life, DT, in my life, Huddle Buddies, get beat so clean on a no-touchy inside move.
That was pretty nasty.
Myles Garrett slapped that young man's hand down like he was reaching for his grandma's fried chicken fresh out the grease and walked past him. Myles Garrett was jogging. I truly believe Cleveland is cooked. But from what I've seen from the Packers, after 2 dominating weeks, it's scaring me, DT. So yes, I'm pissed. And yes, I'm even more pissed that it was the Browns. And yes, I'm even more pissed that it was a Cleveland team. But hopefully the Packers could turn it around next week. And yeah, I don't have any other words. I'm just pissed and I'm disappointed in the Packers. DT, I do have a question for you. And you can answer your thoughts on the Packers loss as well, from the most flukiest stuff ever. But DT, I have a question for you. What do you think of the quarterback situation in Cleveland? Is it time for Dylan Gabriel to start? Joe Flacco was being booed last weekend. It reminded me of how Arch was being booed. What do you think of that situation? And then what do you think of this loss?
So I guess I'll start with the quarterback situation specifically. Okay, let's compare situations. On one hand, we have what the Giants have with Russell Wilson and Jaxson Dart. On the other hand, we have Dylan Gabriel and Joe Flacco with Cleveland. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to bench Joe Flacco, a 10-plus year veteran, for a 5th round pick. Okay? And so, on the other hand, you'd have the Giants, they're benching him for their first round or second round, I can't remember, first or second round pick starting quarterback. Like, this is their future. Sorry. Dylan Gabriel might as well be DTR. Like you're not gonna bench Joe Flacco for him. Like it would have to be bad. And like, what's the expectation once this 5th round pick gets in the game? You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way that the Dylan Gabriel that I know, y'all don't want to know him, but the Dylan Gabriel I know, there's no way he's gonna be better than Joe Flacco. Now, if we're having a conversation about Shedeur Sanders, that's an argument to be made. But even still, I don't think we're to the point yet where Shedeur Sanders should be able to get in the game if he was the number 2 behind Joe Flacco. So yeah, he was getting booed, but that's part of it. They won. I'm sure the Cleveland Browns fans looking back on it and got the victory versus the hottest team in the league versus the most guaranteed Super Bowl appearance team in the league. They get a victory. I'm sure they feel good about that, even if it took a lackluster performance from Joe Flacco. And so I don't know. I think that Joe Flacco would have to turn the ball over more, and the offense would have to look worse, even in a losing effort, consistently than what it looked like today. Because I mean, they hitched their wagon to Joe Flacco at this point. They're hitched to him. Like they have built around him. They made him the starter. They got him under contract. I mean, all for Dylan Gabriel? No, I don't see that happen. But then to follow up on the Packers loss, no team's going undefeated. It's only happened once in NFL history. And I think I'm willing to give the Packers a pass in this one, right? They only gave up 13, even to, the Browns. There's still a good effort defensively in the NFL. And then they were also on the road playing the Cleveland Browns, who, like you said, had one of the best defenses in the league with that pass rush and that secondary and that linebacker core. It's a pretty impressive defense to face. And honestly, they have a very, very good defensive coordinator in Jim Schwartz, who just won like the Assistant Coach of the Year award. I think 1 or 2 years ago, whatever year it was that Myles Garrett won Defensive Player of the Year. Jim Schwartz also won the best assistant coach in the league that year. So with that being said, like they know how to coach it up, and they're not gonna, like the Packers are not going to be able to take advantage of a team like that, like they were able to do against the Cowboys in the playoffs, and will do in Week 4. With getting guys butt naked in the secondary, running the ball however they want to. You're not going to be able to do that against a team like Cleveland with the talent they have on defense and with the coach they have on defense. And so, it is what it is. I still feel like I feel like losing to the Browns changes your perspective on what the Packers can accomplish this year. Like the Packers that showed up on Sunday, I don't think can beat the Eagles in Philadelphia for an NFC championship. I don't think they can. But can they beat the Lions? Absolutely. Can they? Because I mean, they have a better defense than the Lions, you know. And so, like, they'll be able to outscore the Lions. They'll be able to outscore the Vikings. They'll be able to outscore the Rams. But can they beat the Eagles, who are gonna get ahead on you and play pussy ball for the last 30 minutes? For the whole second half, they're gonna play nothing but pussy ball. Hand it to
Literally.
Saquon, let the clock run, get you a couple 3-and-outs. Like, games can be over fast against the Eagles, like before you know it. And so, yeah, so if I had a summary on what I think from the Packers versus Browns game, is that Packers are the clear number 2 in the NFC, and I don't think it's close, and I don't think they can beat the Eagles in the playoff.
I think we have a fighting chance, but yes, from what I've seen Sunday and from what the Eagles display every week of their existence, yes, I don't think we will be able to beat them. And it showed last year. We made one mistake. Well, we made multiple mistakes last year. I can't say we made one mistake, but we made multiple mistakes last year, and it costed us a game against the Eagles. So we will have to play damn near perfect to beat the Eagles. So I agree with you. Hey, we're going to bounce back this week. Micah, over under 2 sacks, DT, versus his former team. What you got?
We don't have nobody that can block him. We don't have a single person that can block him. With Tyler Guyton on the left, I mean, Michael Parsons and Rashawn Gary will be able to run around him like a turnstile. And Terrence Steele, though he's a hard-working, good locker room guy, he's not talented. And week after week, it kind of shows. Like, he makes consistent mistakes. Even though for where he was drafted, where he started, to judge a man by how far he came, Terrence Steele is a good NFL tackle, but he's not proficient enough to block freaks like Rashawn Gary and Michael Parsons. And Michael Parsons knows those guys just like he knows, like they know him. And so, but I don't see Michael Parsons as a big sack guy. Like, I don't see, like, he has always struggled to have more impact than just pressures in one sack. He's always struggled to have phenomenal impact. And part of that is going to be that Dak Prescott's not going to let him sack him twice. He probably won't even let him sack him once. He's going to get rid of the ball. He's going to just get it out of his hands. And so if I had to bet, I would say that Michael Parsons gets at least one, probably from the blind side. But with Parsons in Dak's face, like anywhere from center to right tackle, I don't think Dak lets him sack it. So I would take the under on those 2 sacks. And this is what I told you in the preseason, in the early parts of the season. He's gonna struggle to get to 14. He's gonna struggle. He always has. I'm hoping use him like they just use Myles Garrett against y'all. Y'all not doing that yet. Y'all ran a couple nice stunts, nice twists, but make him, like, force it to be where, like they did with Myles Garrett. If you're gonna put 3 guys on Myles Garrett, we're gonna have a pile at the quarterback every time. Once y'all get to that level, then Michael Parsons might get to that 14. But until then, he's gonna struggle to get to 2 sacks every game, no matter who the tackles are.
I couldn't agree less with you, DT. I think he has the 2 sacks this game. Hell, he may even have 3 sacks, but I think he does muster enough to obtain those 2 sacks this game. And like you said, they may be from the blind side or on broken plays.
Mm-hmm.
The good thing that Mike is bringing that is very underrated in my eyes, and that I even said, is Rashawn Gary has to show up this year. And boy, has he shown up. I just checked his stats. In 3 games, he's at 4.5 sacks. He's first in the NFL in sacks. And this is a blessing from the skies, DT. Because now that he has someone to take the pressure off of him, being the main guy, he can finally show what he showed at Michigan. So, even if Michael Parsons doesn't get 2 sacks this game, I believe combined, him and Gary will have over 2 sacks this game.
You think they have over 4 sacks combined?
This game, I don't think the Cowboys will get sacked that much.
But they definitely get sacked. They definitely get sacked.
But 4 times in one game?
Parsons.
4 times in one game is hard to imagine unless our DBs play the best game of their entire life. I'm talking about stickies. And then the way Dak throws it to his wide receivers, sometimes he just throws jump balls. He doesn't care if they're open or not, especially with George Pickens. He just throws it up. So I personally don't see it. And for some reason, Dak has an affinity for Tolbert. And some reason, Tolbert gets open. I don't know what it is about the man. He's a mediocre receiver to me, but he gets open.
You would get open too if your number 1 was CeeDee Lamb and your number 2 was George Pickens. Your ass would be butt-naked too. Shit. No Diddy.
But see, CeeDee Lamb is out. So I do think Rashawn Gary, and even though I'm moving the goalpost for myself, I do think Rashawn Gary and Michael Parsons, will combine for more than 2.5 sacks. So I'm taking the over.
You did definitely move because you started the conversation saying that, can Michael Parsons get 2 on his own? And now you're saying 2 elite pass rushers combined will get a half sack more. So
I wouldn't say Rashawn Gary is an elite pass rusher.
Isn't he leading the league in sacks right now?
That doesn't make you elite. Van Ginkel last year was leading the league at one point in sacks last year. And I wouldn't say he's elite.
Okay. I digress. But I wanted to mention this. I think that the more dominant performance in terms of the game that'll be played between the Cowboys and Packers, I think the Packers offense will dominate the Cowboys defense more than the Packers pass rush will dominate the Cowboys offensive line and Dak Prescott. Like, it's going to be clear. I'm not going to say that it's going to be like a flat out shootout. I definitely think that the Packers will win comfortably, but I think that the more embarrassing piece will be what the Packers offense does to the Cowboys defense.
I can see that. The Cowboys defense is atrocious. And I don't know why some of these Cowboy analysts are surprised. You said it early. You said it after Michael Parsons was traded, DT.
Mm-hmm.
Everything you said about the defense is coming to fruition. So I don't know where the surprise is coming from, but that defense is horrible.
Yeah. Diggs is not washed, right? Diggs is the same guy he's always been. He's a high turnover, high big play in terms of offensive big plays guy. It's the Jekyll and Hyde, the risk versus reward. He's not a cover corner. He's a ball getter, right? And so without that pass rush, you don't have the duress and the stress on the quarterback. And Diggs he's just not a corner. He's a receiver playing corner with great hands, great ball skills. And, he has some coverage lapses. He doesn't have the technique and the skill required to be a lockdown corner. He's never been that. And so, that's just a bad recipe when you have not great safeties and no pass rush. I mean, Diggs is basically not out there because because of the ACL injury, he does have less speed than he once had. And so it's harder for him, like on those deeper routes, those post routes where they might be in cover 3 and he's trying to trail the guy. He can't keep up with the receiver going deep down the field. And the safeties, whether it be Hooker or whether it be Dono, they act like it's Diggs' fault. So it's always the other guy's fault. And nonetheless, the touchdown still scored. So if you want to make a bold prediction, fuck Michael Parsons with 2 sacks. I'm going to say Matthew Golden gets 2 touchdowns. One of them on a deep route. One of them 40 yards or more. And so, I mean, yeah, and Diggs is just, without Parsons, you might as well trade Diggs, essentially.
Wow. DT calling it. Go ahead and clip it, guys. Matthew Golden breakout game against the Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take the under on that because of how my quarterback likes to throw the ball around and spread the ball and share the love and the wealth. But
Your quarterback's never had a first round pick at wide receiver. He's always had to share the ball around for the last
this is true.
2 years.
This is
Going
true.
back
I
to
can't say
Boston.
that is not true. This is definitely true. Matthew Golden is the first round receiver that Jordan Love has ever had, and I don't even remember a first round receiver that Aaron Rodgers has had.
Exactly. That's why I said going back to Brett Favre, y'all have never had a talented y'all's last talented wide receiver that could
Jordy.
start on any team. I would say Jordy Nelson in his prime, not the one that went to the Broncos and the Raiders and everywhere
Yeah.
else. Jordy Nelson in his prime, and probably Donald Driver. Over the last 20 years, those are the only two guys y'all had in their primes could start on any team.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
At
Even though I'm
any
a
given
big,
time, you got 5 wide receivers, so that's bad.
and
That's a
even though
lot.
I'm a big Randall Cobb fan, he was a product of a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not gonna say he was a product of a great quarterback because he was a great player as well. The magnitude of his greatness was a product of a great quarterback, if that makes sense. And the same with Jones. Hey, at least y'all had the opportunity, so hey, we made it work without having the greatest receivers, and we'll see if Matthew Golden can live up. We got a championship, man. We got a championship.
The one championship. See, a lot of people blame Aaron Rodgers for why they only have the one, or they blame McCarthy, or they blame LaFleur, whoever they blame. The general managers and whoever is picking the players and whoever is putting together the team. I know y'all situation is a little wonky there in Green Bay, but they deserve more blame because, yeah, Aaron Rodgers folded a lot in the playoffs, but at the same time, he didn't have a guy that could lift his performance. Obviously, he had Devontae Adams, and I think we just made a blunder in not mentioning Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, yeah, that's
so 3 guys. Let's correct the record. 3 guys that can start on any team over 20 years.
But Devontae Adams still wasn't a first rounder.
Yeah, that's true. But he was. I don't think Jordy Nelson was either. But 3 guys: Nelson and Driver. But y'all could have got a solid number 2. Y'all could have got a first running back. Like, could y'all imagine what y'all could have been with Jahmyr Gibbs, who was drafted like 16th, 17th overall? Could you imagine?
I just think the NFL, or really football in a whole, is a very lucky sport, if that makes sense, especially when it comes to those playoff games.
Yeah.
Whether it's your schedule being, riddled by injured teams, Eagles, or a few just bad bounces.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's the reason we didn't have more championships, because we lost against the Seahawks on a bad bounce on a darn special teams play, which, like I said, has been a bane of our existence. Dan Browns forever. So yeah, you're right. A little bit more can be put on the GM. It was just a multitude of things, and that's the reason we couldn't get more championships. But hey, I'm happy to say that we have a championship in my lifetime. A lot of people can't say that.
Well, you ain't have to do that. You didn't have to do that. I would be upset if I see I'm up. If I was you, I would be more upset that I only have one with the quarterback that I had than me having none. So you ain't had to throw the shot like that at Cowboy Nation. The Cowboy Nation don't accept that shot, don't appreciate that. Don't wallow in our pain and make fun of us in our time of need and our time of despair. Okay, we don't appreciate that.
Hey man, I'm just putting it out there. I'm happy to say that. Just like the Eagles fans should be happy they won 2 championships.
Stop.
2 championships.
Moving on to the next topic. Fans validation. This is credit. This is the tough thing for me this week. Okay, I really don't want to give the Lions any credit for anything, and it's to be expected. The Ravens kind of collapse all the time at this point, and we're gonna talk about that later. But are the Lions back to normal? Are they Are they back to the expectations they had last year?
No, DT. No. They still can't overcome losing their coaches, in my opinion. And even though Aiden Hutchinson looked like Aiden Hutchinson, like nothing has changed against the Ravens. I can't name another D lineman on their team. I can't name. Can you name a linebacker or defensive back on their team?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's Jack Campbell. They got Terry and Arnold, and they got the Brian Branch. So the secondary is
Brian
pretty
Branch, I like that. That kid can play. That kid can play. Terry and Arnold, from what I've seen, he gets burnt a lot. He gets burnt a lot.
He's a young player.
And Jack Campbell is definitely a hard playing player. So yeah, I guess that's good, but I don't see them being X factors. I don't see them being X factors. I don't see Branch being better than Xavier McKinney or we're not gonna do that like Xavier McKinney wasn't running the league last year and running the safeties last year. Was the best safety last year, I could say. And even this year, he's doing his thing. So I don't believe in. I still don't believe in the Lions. I never have believed in the Lions. The Lions is going to have to prove me wrong. I don't believe in them. Y'all. The Lions last year were so confident in their team that they would go for it on fourth down the most out of any team in the league. I haven't seen that sort of confidence this year, and for good reason.
They went for it. They went for it to put the game away.
It was last year. I want to see how many times. Last year they went for it on the Packers in that Packers game. I believe the last game we faced them. 4 times in one game, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Like, who goes for it 4 times? And that's how much belief they had in their defense and in their coaching that they would stop the Packers offense. So I don't see that sort of confidence, and for good reason. Like I said, we don't know about the coaching. It's a little shaky. And it took the Ravens, just like you said, breaking down for them to go ahead and beat them. I don't think this game is a result of how good the Lions are, but a result of how poorly the Ravens are playing. So I don't believe in them, DT, personally. And that's not any bias. Actually, it's a little bit of bias. I'm not going to lie. But DT, do you agree with me? Do you think that the Ravens performance made the Lions look like the Lions of old, or do you believe in the Lions? Are you buying on the Lions in these last 2 weeks?
I think this win is kind of like a Cowboys victory, where they'll say the Cowboys, they haven't beaten any playoff teams, and then you'll get that one playoff team that's vulnerable, and the Cowboys will beat them, and it'll give you that confidence to make them say, "Oh, the Cowboys can contend." And I think that's the style of victory that this is, right? Under the surface story that's brewing is how poorly the Ravens defense specifically is playing relative to their talent level. Like against the Bills, who are the Bills, they gave up 40-something points. Against the Lions, they gave up 38 points. I can't remember what they did week 2, but if this trend continues, them giving up 30 burgers every week with Hamilton, with Matabike, who's also, obviously out with injury, but with Marlon Humphrey,
Roquan,
like with all this talent, they have the most talented, star-studded, built, name-driven team on defense in the league. And if they can't hold teams to 24 to 27, that's going to be a problem. No matter what Lamar does on offense, that's a story. The Lions were in position to take advantage of that fact, right? But I will give the Lions credit. I've never seen Lamar Jackson sacked that many times. And you're right. I can't name another defensive lineman that they have, but who I do like is I think 69 for the Lions. I like what he was able to do. He was kind of a twitchy athlete, effort guy. He was able to sack Lamar Jackson twice himself, I believe. And that I think is replicable across a whole season. Like no team has ever really sacked Lamar Jackson that much. And so to see that, it was impressive. They also took advantage, the Lions did, of Derrick Henry having fumble issues right now.
Yeah.
You know, even though the game was kind of already sealed at that point, it was kind of already baked. I wouldn't say sealed, but the outcome was kind of baked in already. They took advantage of that, and so we're gonna be in a situation with the Lions all year that we don't all the way believe because they beat this team, but can they beat this team? But can they beat that team? But can they beat that team? And so because of how they woefully underperformed in the playoffs last year, losing in the first round, shockingly, as the first overall seed, we're gonna have these questions about the Lions and what they're able to do. Now, I do want to say that I don't think they can win a Super Bowl with Dan Campbell. Flat out. Like, if Dan Campbell is going to be this aggressive on fourth downs consistently, I think that over the long run, that is going to bite you at times where it absolutely cannot bite you. And it's going to cost you games. And that's just the way that that's going to work. It's going to win you some games too. But there's no way that over a 3-game stretch of you being that aggressive, that, like I'm saying, like divisional, NFC, championship game, Super Bowl, there's no way that over those 3 games in a row that you're going to be able to be that aggressive with no filter, with no punt, with no take points. There's no way that's going to come out as victory 3 times in a row. I don't think that math and those odds are there. And so if he's going to be that aggressive, I don't think they ever really win a Super Bowl or even get to one. I think the combination of losing their coordinators and his aggressiveness will ultimately have them going home either in the divisional round or in the championship.
I agree. But to segue, actually, it's not even a segue because we're still talking about that game. The Ravens have looked dominant in the first halves or even during portions of the game of these last 2 games just to collapse, just to like completely cave in. Do you think they're capable of turning it around and making a Super Bowl run? Or do you think this is going to be a thing that's going to occur for the rest of the season for the Ravens, DT?
I love the Baltimore Ravens. There's a few teams in the NFL that I have a soft spot for. The Colts being one of them. I love Peyton Manning, was my favorite quarterback of all time. I used to hate the Saints, but having worked for them, I got a lot of love for them. And the Ravens with Ray Lewis and their black general manager, Ozzie Newsome. I have a soft spot for them, even though Ozzie Newsome's not their GM anymore. He's still connected with the team. I have a soft spot for the Ravens, so I have trouble condemning Harbaugh. And I have trouble saying out loud that Harbaugh can't figure it out and the Ravens are going to kind of fall to the wayside. I don't want that for them. I want them to be successful and I want them to win a Super Bowl. But at the end of the day, if a team has the same problem year after year, right, they're not going to be able to resolve the issue. And that's my opinion. Going back to how they lost in the playoffs last year, they kind of collapsed. I can think of a couple of different games during the regular season that year where they looked as dominant as they did in Week 1 versus the Bills this year and still lost. And so I think that let me ask you this follow-up question to kind of get my thoughts together. Do you think if they say, because I think they'll win their division, they don't really have any competition there. But if they lose in the first round of the playoffs, because if they lose in the first round in the wild card to somebody, do you think Harbaugh just flat out gets fired for that, given their expectation?
To be frank with you, DT, I think the Ravens are tied to Harbaugh. I feel like they act like they're indebted to him. I love Harbaugh to death. It brought me much joy when they beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl in New Orleans. It brought me much joy to see, Ray Lewis get that last Super Bowl, to see Joe Cool get a Super Bowl, to see rest in peace Jacoby Jones get a Super Bowl. So brought me great joy. But I think it's time to move on. I think it's time for a lot of teams to reset on the coach. I'm not saying the team, like you said, their roster is what the Eagles roster was last year, in my opinion, with all the stars they have on their offense. I mean, not on offense, but on their team as a whole, their offense and their defense. So I just think it's time to reset on the coach. I think it's time to get a new bright mind in there, young mind, and it's time. It's kind of like the Steelers are going through right now. What is it to keep making the playoffs just to not do anything in the playoffs? For the Ravens, what is it to make the playoffs if you lose in embarrassing fashion due to a collapse again and again and again? And like you said, it's just insanity to keep banging your head against the wall when precedent shows that this is what they do. They dominate the regular season. They go into the playoffs. They dominate the first half, may even dominate the third quarter, and lose the game. So I think it's time for them to hit the reset button, DT. I'm going to just be honest. Like I said, I love Harbaugh to death. I believe he's the good brother, you know. It's time to hit the reset button. And let's go ahead and get a young, bright mind in there who can actually go ahead and do something. Imagine if, and this is just fantasy, but imagine if last year was the last year for Harbaugh, and then they brought in Ben Johnson. Do you think a Ben Johnson offense will work with Lamar?
No, I don't. Maybe. I think Ben Johnson would have to conform to Lamar Jackson more so than Lamar Jackson can learn what Ben Johnson does. I don't think that fits. I don't think that fits his style of play.
I can agree with that. But I do think that run offense will be insane. Because if you look at the run offense of the Lions last year, and imagine if that run offense was for I don't know the Ravens' running back is, but Derrick Henry would eat in that offense. I think he would have like 30 freaking touches a game.
Yeah.
But the way he's performing this year, I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, those are my thoughts. I think that it's time for them to go ahead and hit a reset. Go get Mike McDaniels as an offense coordinator or something. I don't know. One of these young college minds. But it's time for a reset for the Ravens. And when it comes to, again, not the roster turnover. Roster's great. Reset on the coaching staff.
Do you think Harbaugh is one of the best top 16 coaches in the NFL? You think there's 18 coaches better than him?
I think the season's young, so I can't really judge that right now. We haven't seen anybody who jumps off the page like, yo, that coach has to be. And when I say that coach, I mean like not only head coach, I'm talking about coordinators as well. It seemed like last year, from the hot start of so many teams, such as the Vikings, such as the Lions, such as the Eagles, and all these teams, it seemed like last year we had a lot of names that we could have thrown out for. Oh, they need the coaching job. They need a coaching gig. They need a coaching gig. This year, it doesn't seem like that. I haven't seen like an offense where I'm like, yo, that offensive coordinator needs a coaching gig. I haven't even seen like a super dominant. My question: have you seen a super dominant defense? Where do you think like a Mike Schwartz needs another chance at being a coach, or things like that? Because I have, in my opinion, I don't think so. With that being said, me not seeing any like super bright spots from these young coordinators, I do think he is a top 16 coach. Do I think he's a top 10 coach? No. He's probably at 15-ish. Probably at 15. Between 13 to 16, I'd say. Yeah, unfortunately, I do see that. Well, I'm going to say unfortunately because that's messed up. But, yeah, he's a top 16 coach is what I'm saying.
And I don't really. Here's my thing. With John Harbaugh will get a job with someone else the moment that he's fired.
Yes.
Because he's that good of a coach. And not just someone, like he will get another head coaching job the moment he's fired. And there's just nobody out there that's worth the risk of losing what the Ravens do have. You know, Lamar Jackson is such a unique talent and such a somewhat unorthodox style of play, even though he has learned how to pass from the pocket and read defenses and so on and so forth. He's developed nicely. But still, his uniqueness, like, yeah, Ben Johnson may be a great coach with the Lions, or Bobby Slowick may be able to turn CJ Stroud into the hottest shit since sliced bread. But at the same time, coaching them and coaching Lamar Jackson is something wildly different than what any coach will have ever done, right? And so I don't see how the Ravens fire I don't see how the Ravens fire John Harbaugh and get a coach that's going to either keep Lamar Jackson's levels at what they are or even increase them. I don't think that coach is out there that exists. And so I would like for them to just figure it out on defense. That's what I would like for to happen, because I know their defensive coordinator is actually from this part of Texas, and so I'm rooting for him too. You know, I want them to just figure it out on defense. You know, get them a couple more pass rush. I think they might be a pass rusher away from being at that level, because, like you said, the loss of Matabike is really hurting them right now. They don't have a good number 2 pass rusher. So maybe if they get a second pass rusher, that'll help their secondary. That'll help, keep other teams' points down. Maybe that'll be enough. But I don't know what the answer. I think that getting another pass rusher is a better option than firing John Harbaugh.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's like saying the Steelers, Mike Tomlin is going to pick up another job right after he gets fired, which is true, because you got franchises like the Jaguars that exist or the Browns that exist. Of course, these guys are going to get another job because they're going to do better than the coaches that are currently there. But that doesn't mean that you don't need to take a chance and go after some of these young coaches. Like, what if the Ravens got some of the old offensive coordinators for Josh Allen? Or I don't know. Like you said, I don't know what's the answer. I'm just throwing coaches at the wall. But I feel like it's time for a new system. And like you said, any coach that they get is going to have to conform to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is not going to conform to. I mean, I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't conform to a coach.
But he shouldn't.
But it isn't.
He's
exactly.
The elite talent. There's no coach out there that is a bigger talent than Lamar Jackson is. Like, even Ben Johnson, when everybody thought Ben Johnson was hot shit, like even that is not. Nah, we're not gonna change how Lamar Jackson does business for Ben Johnson. We're not about to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So I don't know the answer, Ravens fans. Even if y'all do fix y'all defense, y'all gonna have to fix the elephant in the room, which is just y'all clutching this. Y'all clutching in. No ice in y'all veins, as the kids would say. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know the solution to y'all problem. But hopefully some Ravens fans can comment and tell us a solution. Comment down in the comment section for a solution that you see for the Ravens when it comes to having chokesies. But we got sidetracked. Do you think they're capable of winning a Super Bowl, DT? Is the main question.
I'm going to say no, for a similar reason to the Lions. With their track record, it's hard to string together 3 victories in a row against elite competition. So the answer to the question is no. I think, over the course of 3 games, they're going to give up 1 too many scores. They're going to have 1 too many collapses. It's just going to happen for them. Unless they get that figured out, I'm going to say no, they don't. They can't win a Super Bowl. Not like this.
I agree. I totally agree. But moving on. Lately, they've been annoying. I will say that. Sandwich tush push. But do you think that they have a chance of repeating, DT?
I do. I think that nobody is storming to the front of the line to take it from them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, one of the undefeated teams is the 49ers, who are on a walker every year. And like other than that, and the Chargers, I mean, do we think the Chargers can? Because the Chiefs definitely can't, winning 22-9 against the Giants, who just gave up 40 to the Cowboys last week.
That offense looks broken,
damaged goods, and I like. Are we in the midst of an Eagles dynasty?
No, don't say that. Don't wish that to existence.
The question needs to be asked.
The NFL doesn't need that. The NFL doesn't need Eagles fans to be any more cocky than they are. I'm not saying the Eagles don't need a dynasty, because shout out to the Eagles. Y'all fans don't deserve a dynasty. They
might get one. Barring injury, I would say they haven't looked impressive. Don't get me wrong. They have not looked impressive. But at the same time, they're the defending champion. So I would say they're number one, and you would probably leave like 2 spots in between them and the next team. I can say that comfortably. Like you might put the Bills in there, but the Bills are not as talented as the Eagles. They have one guy. They have one guy and a couple key defensive players like Ed Oliver and a couple other guys on defense. But they are just Josh Allen. They don't even have a top tier talented wide receiver that could start on any team. They don't. Keon Coleman's not starting on all 32 teams.
No.
So, and neither is Shakur, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Like he's a hyped up Cole Beasley. And so, in a world where the Bills and the Eagles play at the Super Bowl, that would be a tough ass matchup. Right? Like you can see Josh Allen just willing it to be true that he's going to be a Super Bowl champion. You can see that happen. But the way the Eagles play football, I don't see a team that's good enough yet to beat them. Now, if you want to talk about on the NFC side, who's the closest? The Buccaneers look good.
We're not gonna say the Buccaneers could beat that. No, I love one of my goats. Everybody know, nobody's know. I have 18 billion goats. But shout out TD Baker. Baker made money. Baker Mayfield.
Oh no,
you legend. But I don't see Baker Mayfield beating the Eagles. Like you said, bro. Baker gonna make one mistake a game. I understand, but Baker gonna make one mistake a game, and that's all the Eagles need to run out the second half, bro. Like you said, the Eagles will legit hold the ball the entire second half, running the ball, getting the 4th or 3rd and 1, pushing for a first down. Do it again. The entire second half. Their coach has no shame.
None. It's crazy, bro. They don't even get up by 14, bro. They'll get up like a possession and just start eating clock. Like it'll be 17-14, and they'll start eating clock. Like it's ridiculous, bro. Then to top it off, they have the tush push, where if everybody's playing 10 yards for a first down, and they're just playing 8.
Literally.
So it's ridiculous. The whole league hates the Eagles at this point. It's not just Cowboys fans and NFC East fans now. The whole league hates the Eagles. And that's a world I like, to be honest with you.
Like I said, I like the Eagles organization. You talk about soft spots. The Eagles have a soft spot in my heart because the man I shall not name, that was the first player to make me cry off a football game. When I was young, the Eagles Super Bowl, Eagles versus freaking Patriots, Donovan McNabb, T.O. I want them to win so bad. First time. So I have a soft spot for the Eagles. Love the Eagles team. Brian Westbrook, Deshaun Jackson back in the day. Yeah, love them. I just don't. They fans, man. It's just something about the NFC East fans. Because the Cowboys, I've never had a problem with the Cowboys. And then I moved to Texas. And the fans made me loathe the organization. And that's what the Eagles fans are doing for me right now. So the Eagles, If y'all win another championship, I'll be happy for y'all. Y'all fans don't deserve it. Philadelphia doesn't deserve it. Even though I'm a Phillies fan, I'll rock with the Phillies. The baseball team, y'all don't deserve another Super Bowl. So I'm praying, I'm hoping. That's why I'm hoping Lamar and them can make the Super Bowl, because I feel like the Ravens can beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and the Bills. The number two in the NFL, I feel like, can beat them. And the Ravens got to actually be dominant. They have to be dominant, and they can't choke. As you can see, the Eagles have the ability to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And that's scary against the Ravens, because the Ravens can be up 30 points in the second half. I mean, the first half. Come out second half. Exactly. 28 exactly. Come out second half and shit the bed. Just shit the bed. Diarrhea the bed all over that mug. Like, what happened?
Yeah.
So, those are the only two teams that I see can beat the Eagles. And I'm praying that happens, because I don't want them to repeat, man. I'm sorry. I don't.
I don't know. I think we have an Eagles dynasty cooking, and that's coming from a Cowboys fan. I think we got to. I don't think Levi's there. That, like, the Ravens are supposed to be. The Ravens are supposed to be. They have the best roster outside of them, but they can't figure it out late in games.
Yeah. So I hope that happens. Phillies fans, Eagles fans, let us know your thoughts and opinions on the matter. Actually, don't even come in the comment section. I already know y'all thoughts and opinions. Don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. The rest of the NFL fans, let us know your thoughts and opinions. Phillies fans, sit this one out. We're gonna move on to the next topic, and our last topic for the big segments here. Jaxson Dart, DT. Jaxson Dart. That's why, I wear my chain, the way I wear my, not playing. But Jaxson Dart, going against the Chargers this week, what would a successful rookie campaign look like for Jaxson Dart? Or is it even enough to save Brian Daboll and his job? What do you think, DT?
So a successful campaign, I think, would be, so he lost. He's not going to play in 3 of the 17 games, his 14 games. I think that if he can get to about 28 touchdowns, no, let's call it 24. If he can get to 24 touchdowns and less than 12 interceptions, I think that we might be looking at something that can be relied upon and worth saving Brian Daboll. That's a little bit under averaging 2 touchdowns a game, which is relatively fair. But because of how Brian Daboll looking, we can't have too many interceptions. Like, you're supposed to be the guy that made Josh Allen. Like, we can't have a season where you starting Jaxson Dart and he turned that thing over like a Shipley's donuts. He can't be doing that. He can't have 17 interceptions and 22 touchdowns. Like, no, like, no. Jaxson Dart has to be, and I think a good way to phrase it is he can only be the reason they lose maybe 1 or 2 of these last 14 games for them. But outside of that, it needs to be like, he needs to be humming, because they already frustrated with Brian Daboll. It's Brian Daboll's 4th or 5th year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Brian Daboll's out of the quarterback development time. Okay, his minutes about to be up on his cell phone. All right, so bro need to have Jaxson Dart ready to go. And if Jaxson Dart not ready, he needs to put Jaxson Dart back on the bench like before Sunday. Like, if Jaxson Dart out there in practice, turn that shit over, they've already say, nah, go ahead, sit next to you. You're not ready yet. And that's okay. That's okay, because like I said, if we don't get Jaxson Dart that's able to be the starting quarterback for the New York Giants going into year 2, after you sold on Shedeur Sanders, you talked bad about Shedeur Sanders, you said all this, said he had a bad meeting, said all this crazy stuff about him, and then you pass on him for Jaxson Dart, forcing, in my opinion. If you don't have that man ready to play, looking like what Bryce Young looked like right now, or what Caleb Williams looked like right now, then I got a problem. And damn sure New York Giants fans gonna have a problem. They're probably gonna have Dayball up out of there.
Yeah. I agree. He should have been gone a minute ago. I don't. And again, this is not because of Shador. I think he should have did better with Daniel Jones. As you can see, Daniel Jones goes to another team, and what changed? What changed? Like, I'm confused. Like you said, you were supposed to be the one who made Josh Allen. Well, I'm gonna say made Josh Allen, but in the NFL standards,
that's
made
why he
Josh.
got the job. That's why he got the job. They say he made Josh Allen.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
So you were supposed to be the one who made Josh Allen who Josh Allen is. So to tell me that you had Daniel Jones, who is showing that he is actually a decent NFL quarterback, and you couldn't do nothing with that, and then like you said, then you pass on Shador, which NFL fans and NFL coaches may be right. I may be wrong. Shador may not be all that. You're right. But to draft Jaxson Dart at your 25th pick, he has to look good. You're right. He has to look good. I think it's a lot on Jaxson Dart's plate, unwarranted for that matter. I don't think Jaxson Dart deserves to have all this on his plate. But at the end of the day, you're an NFL quarterback kid. You got to perform in order to save your coach's job and his ass. And then really a successful campaign for me is to get Malik Nabers the ball and win games. I don't care how Jaxson Dart do it. It's your first year. As long as you show glimpses and win games, I think Dayball gets another shot next year. And as long as Malik Nabers is happy, because Malik Nabers wasn't happy when Russell Wilson was playing. Wasn't happy at all. Cam Skattebo gonna eat. That boy is gonna eat. No offense, Tracy. Good running back. But Cam Skattebo is going to eat. So I'm not worried about him. It's just, like you said, it's a lot on Jaxson Dart's plate. I just think Dayball gets another chance if he wins games. And like you said, keeps the turnovers down. Keeps his team in the game. Because the defense is solid. Well, really that D-line is solid. But, that's my take. I think Dayball should have been out of there. Great offensive coordinator. Let's go back to making him offensive coordinator. Any thoughts? Any other thoughts on the Giants and Jaxson Dart, DT?
Did you hear Nabers' comments?
No. What was his comments?
Oh, so he was asked. Like, what does he think about like these quarterback situations over the last year and this year, and like what does he learn from those experiences? And he has some comment like, we just need to get one the ball, or they just need to get one the ball, like his number, and like nothing else besides that. And the reason I bring it up is because it just rubbed me the wrong way. And I know receivers have that mentality, but at the same time, I'm not. That kind of makes me not a fan of Nabers.
Really?
Yeah. It's just like the objective is to win, not to get you the fucking ball. If getting you the ball helps us win, and by all means it does. Getting Nabers the ball does. But don't say no shit like that when we throw you a fade in the end zone and you're not even in position to jump for the ball and it's getting picked off going the other way and you moping off the field. Like, and it could be nitpicky, it could be valid, but at the same time, man, Stephon Diggs ain't never really won no Super Bowl. Same type of guy, same type of, it's look at what he did to Josh Allen. Josh Allen's thriving without his ass. Thriving. Hadn't missed a beat. So if you want to have a career like that, or don't, like Stephon Diggs has had a phenomenal NFL career, but hasn't won championships, And so if you want to have a career like that where it's about me and not the team, you want to have a Terrell Owens style career, that's all fine and dandy. But at the end of the day, the sport that we're talking about and the sport that they're playing is football. And football is the ultimate team sport. and the objective is always to win, not to get you the football. So the way he said that and the way he laughed and the way the media laughed at that, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And honestly, I don't think it's a guy that can really help you win meaningful Super Bowl, and championship games. Like even though AJ Brown is dissatisfied with him not getting the ball and him not getting the stats he would like to get, he wouldn't say shit like that. He hasn't said shit like that. And Devonta Smith is a Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver, and he's never said nothing like that.
I mean, my question to that, DT, or my rebuttal to that is another question, by the way. Would you rather have someone who is, or a wide receiver that has that mindset of he wants the ball, or would you rather have a Marvin Harrison Jr. mindset, where you see how that's led to him not being as dominant as I think he should when it comes to the game and his assets and his abilities? Would you rather have someone who wants the ball to think they can win, because we may have took his comments out of perspective, or someone who's happy with just being there?
I want everybody that's going to be on my team, I want their objective to be winning the football game. I don't want it to be, I want to have a good day and I want to get stats and yards. And it reflects me it reminds me of a time when Larry Fitzgerald had Kurt Warner as his quarterback with the Cardinals, and they were on the sideline one game, and Larry Fitzgerald was bummed that he had bad stats that game, but they won. And he was telling Kurt Warner about it, and Kurt Warner kind of got on to him about it, saying, "Yo, like the objective is to win." Da 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 da. Larry Fitzgerald has referenced it a few times, and it made it that experience from learning from Kurt Warner in that way made Larry Fitzgerald a better pro. That's what he gives some credit to, obviously, for that. And so, I know wide receivers have that mentality, but at the same time, it's not about getting Malik Nabers the football. Like Malik Nabers could have 200 yards receiving, and the defense could give up 40 points, and we'll still lose. If the objective that week is so, how would Nabers feel on the Eagles if the Eagles got up by 3 and all of a sudden they handed the ball to Saquon Barkley 30 times and didn't give him any touches? Like that's the winning formula right now in the NFL, because that's one Super Bowl last year and been the 2 out of the last 3 Super Bowls, I believe it is getting up and then running the ball. So if Nabers don't get no touches mid to third quarter to end of the game, he's still gonna be mad, even though we won. That's not a guy I want.
I mean, AJ Brown, and like you said, AJ Brown wouldn't have said anything like that, but AJ Brown would have started reading books on the sideline. AJ Brown would have looked disinterested in the game.
That's cool.
I think a receiver needs
having these comments.
I think a receiver needs that prima.
It's very, very. It's like he's being a super diva at this point.
But receivers need that diva in them, bro. Which is
good,
crazy to say.
He's not that good. He's good, but he's not that good.
Because I feel like Jamar Chase said something like that as well. They need to give me the ball.
Jamar Chase is Himothy.
You don't think Malik Nabers has the ability or the level to be him?
No, Malik Nabers is another wide receiver one on an NFL team, but he's just another run-of-the-mill guy. He's no different. He's no different than, I would say he's a top 10 receiver, but he's not one of those guys that you could take out of this era and put on another team in a future era or in a past era, and he would dominate. Like Jamar Chase, like Devontae Adams, like Justin Jefferson. He's not rare air. He's another talented wide receiver. There's plenty of them. That's my point. And so for him to make those comments, I felt like they was out of pocket. And it's not just this, he has these comments every week, and he has this interest and frustration displayed during every game. It's a consistent behavior pattern that I don't think is conducive to being part of winning football in the NFL. I don't think so. If he wants to go get 2,000 yards receiving with the Miami Dolphins and be home by New Year's, he can go do that shit. That's what he want to do. If that's what he want to do, then he go do it. Tyreek Hill, I think would not be satisfied with a 2,000-yard receiving season and no playoffs. I don't think that would satisfy Tyreek Hill because he damn near had that a couple years ago and they didn't do nothing. He was pissed. He needs to clean up his attitude or the Giants gonna ship him. And you know the Giants like shipping people.
Hey, man. I would take Malik Nabers, to be honest with you, on my team.
I know you would, but you starving for receivers. We got plenty over here, and I don't want them.
Hey, man. I like the drive. Well, not drive. I like the diva attitude when it comes to receiver.
No.
It just makes me think that they wanted more. Of course, it can be a detriment, as you can see with Trayvon Diggs' career.
Stephon
But
Diggs.
That's my fault. Stephon Diggs, yeah. Trayvon Diggs' career downfall for another reason. But yeah, I just like the diva receivers because it makes it seem like you actually, even though they are stats driven, but it makes it seem like you care more. You don't show a disinterest in the game. I feel like a Marvin Harrison Jr., those type of receiver, which again, great team guy, but they're not looking for greatness. Diva receivers are looking for greatness. That's another reason they want the stats. And what also is a portion of greatness? Winning. So even if they do get the stats, I feel like this was a good experience for a Tyreek Hill in Miami because he got the stats. He got all the stats he needed. And he realized stats don't mean jack without winning.
Exactly.
You can be the greatest receiver on paper, 80 billion yards, 10,000 TDs. If you ain't got a bowl, you Charles Barkley. The greatest to ever do it that people could talk shit about you every time. Every time, it reminds me of Charles Barkley. Every time he talks stuff to Shaq, mind you, in the NBA, in the NFL, they create rules for you when it comes to your greatness, aka Deacon Jones slapping people in the ear. Was the greatest player ever at doing that. They said, we gotta take that out of the game. The Eagles about to have a rule made against them with this tush push. We gotta take that out of the game. But I say that to say this. One of the greatest players of all time in the NBA. Every time he talks stuff to Shaq or Kenny Smith, just start putting up their rings. We're not even in the same realm.
Yeah.
I think this is a good experience. And Malik Nabers is young. He's talking like a young man. He hasn't had a Kurt Warner to talk to him yet. He hasn't had somebody. And no offense to Russ Wilson, great guy off the field. Ain't nobody listening to Russ Wilson. Ain't nobody taking Russ Wilson. The veterans on that team, no offense to the veterans on that team, but nobody taking them people seriously, bro, on offense. If Russell Wilson came up to you, if you Malik Nabers, Russell Wilson came up to you and was like, you got to fix your attitude. If you don't get the fuck out of my face, Jameis Winston, I ain't going to lie to you, he better not walk up to me. Love him to death. Funniest guy ever. I think he's going to be a great analyst after the NFL. But Jameis Winston better not walk up to me. I'll throw bro a crab leg. Stop playing with me.
Damn.
With that being said, any other questions you have about?
I just had to get that out there about Nabers. It rubbed me the wrong way. It just absolutely rubbed me the wrong way. I had to get that out there. And it's not just these comments. Like I said, it's over. Like he had the same comments last year. He had the same frustration on the sideline last year. And I just had to get that out there. It's not productive.
It's only year 2. It's year 2, right?
It's not productive though. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not productive.
He just needs a veteran. He needs a respectable veteran to sit him down. So, hey.
If Jaxson Dart pans out, he'll never have one. He'll always be Jaxson Dart's OG.
a YN and a YW, huh? All right. We're going to go ahead and let's move through.
First one and the third one.
All right, cool. All right, DT. Hot take from this weekend. Even with Cam Ward, with the pick 6 Cam Ward, do you believe the Titans have a bright future?
I'm gonna say yes. I liked Cam Ward's week 3 performance. Even like I said, even with the pick 6, but I saw a lot of on time, on schedule plays, and he used his feet a lot to get first downs and get key yardage that they needed. So I think that Cam Ward has a bright future with the Titans. My stock.
I do. I totally agree with that, DT. The longest first overall pick of all time, as they say. I think he's going to pan out to be just right. It's just a Titans organization. They need to put some actual good weapons around him. Mm-hmm. I know they got Tony Pollard in the backfield, which is cool and all, but they need a true number one receiver. And there's no offense to Calvin Ridley, but he's not a true number one receiver. They need some guys to put around him, a good tight end, which I think they will get next year. And this is just all growing pains and learning experiences from a number one overall pick who has shown that he has the talent to be a future starting quarterback and a future good quarterback at that, top 10 quarterback. So, I believe in the Titans' future. Another one, Jonathan Taylor and the Colts, same division. Jonathan Taylor and the Colts. Do you think he's carrying the team more than Daniel Jones? More than down? Do you think Jonathan Taylor is carrying the team more than Daniel Jones?
Man, it's a close one. When you sit back and watch it, you sit there, you're like, well, can Daniel Jones do this without an effective play action and an effective run game? And Quentin Nelson and Jonathan Taylor and the rest of the Colts offensive line, they blocking that thing up well, and Jonathan Taylor's running that thing well. And so could it be that Daniel Jones is dependent on running back play and on a running game? Like with Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones' best year was when Saquon Barkley was going off. Mm-hmm. And, it could be that Daniel Jones absolutely has to have a running game. And I think that's what it is. And so with that being said, yes, I think that Jonathan Taylor is carrying the Colts more than Indiana Jones is carrying.
Yeah, I totally agree. I've always been run to set up the pass guy. I don't believe in pass to set up the run. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, when you have an elite running back in the backfield, it makes life easier for a quarterback. I think throughout his whole career, Daniel Jones has never had an elite running back. So he's always been the guy to have to set up the plays, to have to make plays. At this point, I'm not going to say it's on easy mode, but for Daniel Jones, when the boxes are stacked and the receivers get that much more open and you can actually hit the receivers, it makes it a lot easier for you. So I do think Jonathan Taylor is carrying the Colts more so than Daniel Jones. But like you said, it's not far. It's not like he's the whole team and they don't have a quarterback. Yeah. But you can see it's a pretty decent margin. So I do think he's carrying the Colts.
All right. Now for a recap on DT's Hittas. Wasted $20 for the week. I had Tua Tagovailoa, more than just one passing touchdown. He hit it. Daniel Jones to go over 206 in passing yards. That hit. But then we got to Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was 20 yards short of hitting that 241.5. That's a miss. And Devontae Smith, he heard our show. He watched our show. And he said, you know what? I'm going to go out there and get 9 more yards than the 51.5. And he fucked us. But Puka Nacua looked good. So, again, he hit more than 75, 76 yards receiving. And so for the week, last week, we was 3 out of 5. And that was good. But this week, I'm not feeling good about it. But I'm going to give it to you anyway. I'm going to hit one of these weeks. Let me take Josh Allen more than 217.5 versus the Saints. I just like that. I like that because I think the Saints' run defense is pretty good. So I think they'll have to pass more than run. So I think he can hit that number. Jahmyr Gibbs, more than 0.5 rushing or receiving touchdowns. I like this one because I think someone said, even going back to last year, there's a streak of either Gibbs or Montgomery scoring a touchdown in every game that they've had going back to sometime last year. And so I think it's Gibbs' turn with Montgomery having the day he had this past week. So let me get that. Michael Penix Jr., under the 226.5 versus Washington. At some point, Dan Quinn's got to figure out defense with the Commanders. At some point, he had a decent week last week. against the Raiders. But this week, I think he can hold Michael Penix under 226.5. Baker Mayfield, Marshawn's GOAT. Can't really agree with that statement. But 227.5 more than that for the Eagles. If Dak didn't have the rain delay and all the stuff that he had, the Eagles secondary is susceptible to getting taken advantage of. So let me take that. Then Jalen Hurts, less than 42.5 rushing yards. He can't keep doing this. He plays quarterback, not running back. He's got to get the ball to A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, hand it to Saquon Barkley. Stop trying to be a running back. Stop trying to be a running back. Give me those rushing touchdowns at the goal line. I want those because I got you in fantasy. But these scrambles for 42.5 or 43 yards, I don't think he's going to get 43 yards. I think that's a bit high. So let me take the under on those. So I got Josh Allen, Jahmyr Gibbs, Michael Penix Jr., Baker Mayfield, and Jalen Hurts for the week.
Okay. I like that. Look ahead, DT. Look ahead.
Yes, sir. Week 3, we tied. I was 10-6. You were 10-6. The most notable differences, I believe, was I think we picked maybe 1 or 2 games different. We didn't have the same losses everywhere. I know we both picked the Packers to beat the Browns. That was one. So, hey. But overall record on the year, DT is 22-9. Marshawn, you were 23-8. So we're just 1 game apart. We're closing the gap. And I feel good about that. Now,
okay.
For this week's picks, let me see. All right. So, week 4 in the NFL. We're also going to pick some college games this week that I liked. Week 4, Thursday Night Football. Seattle Seahawks versus Arizona Cardinals. The Seahawks are a 1.5-point favorite. Who you got?
It's a tough one. Give me the is Arizona going to the 12th man? Let me verify that. Actually, don't hear. ESPN.
I believe so. I'm not certain.
No, it's in Arizona. So yeah, give me the Seattle, not Seattle. Give me the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals. It is in Arizona. I just think Kyler Murray got to do something to show why he worth that money, man. And Marvin Harrison got to wake up, man. I don't know what he got to take a page out of Malik Nabers' book, bro. Give him the ball. Trey McBride got a touchdown finally. Not having James Conner is scary, but I believe they can go ahead and I just don't believe in Sam Darnold. I believe they can go ahead and pull it out. So give me Arizona.
All right. For this one, I gotta take Arizona. If I'm gonna be the guy that says the Cardinals can win the division, I cannot take the Seahawks in this game. The Cardinals must win this game. This is the must win in the division, especially with them dropping the game against the 49ers last week. I still feel good about my division pick. And so let me take the Cardinals. I think that they will win by, I would say 7. I think they can win by 7 at home.
Okay.
Moving on.
Okay.
Minnesota Vikings at the Steelers. The Vikings are a 2.5-point favorite.
Minnesota Vikings at Steelers.
I know you're going to go with one of your other GOATs. You got to in this game.
Hey, Aaron. Oh, man. I don't think I can, man. Let me see again where this is at. I don't even think they could do it at home. So, as much as it pains me to say, give me the Vikings, man. Give me the Vikings. And I think they do get over the spread. Definitely over that 2.5. So, yeah, give me the Vikings.
Man, I'm trying not to get Mike Tomlin fired. Let me take the Steelers at home. All right. This next one, I'll go first. New Orleans Saints at the Buffalo Bills, 15.5.
Let me tell you.
At some point, because we didn't see the Packers and the Browns coming. At some point, the Buffalo Bills are going to lose a regular season game, but not this week.
I was like, you think it's against
the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, give me the Bills, and they beat spread. I feel like
15.5.
Bro, the Saints.
They beat the 15.5.
Bro, the Saints are bad, bro. And I fucks with Rattler. Rattler's my guy. That is my guy. But damn, they bad, bro. Not good.
All right. I hear you. Chargers at Giants. Both Chargers, right? Gotta be both Chargers.
Chargers, for sure. For sure. Sorry, Jackson. And I rocks with you, but nah.
Do you think he gets to 200 yards passing?
Yeah. I think he goes 200. 2 TDs, 1.
Gino and Gino and Bo Nix were both held under 200. I think Bo Nix had 180 and Gino had like 153.
I think the game script is gonna be conducive of Jaxson Dart getting over 200. They gonna be getting their butt beat so bad that they gonna just be throwing stuff. If it's gonna get lackadaisical. I'm not saying it's gonna be a good 200. It's gonna be a crazy 200.
You know what?
It's gonna be it's gonna be one of them 220s that who failed you last week? It's gonna be one of them sunshine 220s. It's gonna be one of them.
I can see the Giants winning this game.
Go ahead and pick them there.
Yeah, because the Giants, their pass rush looking good. It's gonna be a test for the Chargers O-line. I can see them winning this game.
Go ahead and pick it, man.
Pick it, but damn it, I want to pick it. Cause it's something we don't see coming every week.
This ain't it. This ain't it.
In order for the Chiefs to have a chance, the Chargers got to be vulnerable.
I don't think this is it. I think whoever the Chiefs face is the it. Yeah, bro. Hey, you can pick it. I'm going Chargers. Chargers gonna tap that ass.
I'm a hold my Chargers pick on this. I'm a hold. All right, moving on. Commanders versus Falcons. Commanders are a 2.5 point favorite.
Is Jake Daniels back yet? Jake Daniels. Let me see here, buddy. Are you coming back this week? Please tell me you're coming back this week. He still needs to be cleared from the doctors day to day. And who are they facing?
Atlanta. They're a 2.5 point favorite.
I think Michael Penix bounces back. Give me the Falcons.
Falcons.
Yeah, give me the Falcons.
I like the Falcons' run game, and I like what they're building with that pass rush. I think they might have a top-tier pass rush in the league by the end of the season. Eagles at Bucks. 3.5 point favorite for the Eagles. This is a juicy game this week. Are the Buccaneers a real contender in the NFC?
I'm taking the Bucks, bro. I'm gonna say YOLO. Even though I know what's gonna happen. Beck's gonna turn it over. Eagles gonna kick their feet up at the cabana with the with the little roof over their head with their little Mai Tai and run the fucking clock out. But I have faith in my GOAT, so give me Baker Maymoney, Egbuka, and Bucky.
You giving this one to me. You know, I got to catch you by one game. And I'm going to take advantage of you and your belief in Baker Mayfield. Let me take the Eagles. I definitely think they can win by 4 points. Damn, I can't spell Eagle. All right, moving on. Cleveland versus Detroit. Detroit is an 8.5 point favorite.
Detroit. Cleveland gonna fuck us up again. Cleveland gonna fudge us up again. I'm telling you. But I'm taking Detroit.
I don't know.
And Cleveland going to Detroit.
You don't think they can do it 2 weeks in a row?
Bro, this is the battle. This is Ohio versus Michigan. So
let me take Detroit.
Stop being pussy, man. Pick a game, man.
Carolina Panthers at New England. This is a toss-up for real. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Bryce Young. Let me take Bryce Young and them Panthers. I'm going Panthers.
I'm going Drake May. Give me Patch. Man. Drake May gonna pull it out.
All right. Tennessee at the Houston Texans. Texans are a 6.5 point favorite. Do we see the Texans going 0-4?
No. They beat Tennessee. I don't think they make spread, but they beat Tennessee for sure.
Oh boy, if they go 0-4. Oh boy. Jacksonville at San Francisco. San Francisco's 3.5 point favorite.
Sunshine. Give me the 49ers.
No.
Jacksonville sucks. No, my fault. Jacksonville don't suck. I apologize, Duval. Duval. I apologize. Sunshine sucks. That's it. That's all.
I'm gonna take the Jags actually in this game. I think that a key injury is Nick Bosa. Their defense is different without Nick Bosa. And I like the Jags to win this game. Big day from Travis Hunter, I think. Big day. Juwan Jennings get clamped by Travis Hunter, which is not difficult to do. Next game, Indianapolis Colts versus Los Angeles Rams. First test for Daniel Jones. What do we think?
Danny Dimes. I'm going Danny Dimes. Indiana Jones.
You
Peyton Manning Jr.
And it's in LA. Do you want to change your mind? It's in LA.
Not at all. Not at all.
Right. Let me take them Rams. I like the Rams here. I just think that the Colts are a pretender and the Rams are somewhat of a contender. And that's going to be exposed on Sunday. That's why I'm picking it. Chicago Bears at Raiders.
At Raiders. Ooh.
That's a good game.
I like Caleb, but I want the Raiders to win. I want my pops to be happy this week, so I'm going to go Raiders.
You know what? I'm going to pick that too. Both Raiders. I want to go with the Bears. I want the Bears to be good. I think a Caleb Williams star in the NFL will be good for the league. And Chicago Bears having a good quarterback would be good for the league. We can go Raiders here. Shout out to Pops. Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs. Game in Kansas City. Ravens are 2.5-point favorite.
Ravens, KC.
Chiefs.
At Kansas City.
Chiefs are clutch. Chiefs got the clutch scene. Ravens do not. That's the difference.
I say Ravens bounce back.
All right. Let's see. Now to the main card. The main event. Green Bay Packers, 6.5-point favorite against the Dallas Cowboys. Sunday Night Football. Who you got? Both Packers?
It ain't gonna be Jerry World. It's gonna be rough, man. Let's go. Green Bay. And they double the spread.
So you think they win by 12 or more? 13 or more?
Easily.
This is the type of game the Cowboys win. Like one where everybody thinks they're going to lose, everybody's down on them. And they always usually make up for an embarrassing loss somewhere else in the schedule and one impressive victory. And I like how Dak is playing.
So you got the Cowboys?
I really do. I like how Dak is playing. Right now I trust Dak. I don't know why. I can't tell you why, but something's different. Something's different about the man. Something's different. He really don't have no picks on the year. Like the pick he did have I think 2 picks he had last week. Like one of them was on 4th and goal, so he really had no choice. And a couple of his picks been like that, So he really ain't got no picks. You know what I'm saying?
If you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it, man. If you like it, I love it, man.
Let me take the Cowboys.
If you like it, I love it, man. Thank you for giving me one this week. But if you like it, I love it.
Okay, last game, Monday Night Football. Or 2 more games, excuse me. There's 2 Monday Night Football games again this week. New York Jets at the Dolphins. Dolphins are 2.5-point favorite.
Justin Fields coming back from concussion play Monday. I believe Justin Fields is coming back. I'm going to go with they at Miami. I'm going to go with this one's hard. Dolphins. That's the most, I don't know, Dolphins pick ever.
I'm going to go Dolphins just because, man, they can't go 0-4. They can't go 0-4. Heavens no. Let me take the Dolphins. The Jets are good though. The Jets ain't sweet.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
they could beat anybody.
And Dan's on the sideline too.
Yep. I'll take the Dolphins. Bengals at Broncos. The Broncos are 7.5-point favorite.
I'm gonna go Broncos. Yeah. I don't think they made a spread, but I'm gonna go Broncos. Browning. Sorry, brother.
I'm going to take Broncos as well. I think it's a low-scoring game. I don't think they cover the spread either. Take it back. I don't think it's a low-scoring game, but I don't think they cover the spread. They keep it competitive the whole way. So, That's all our picks. Hopefully, this will be the week that I take my rightful place in the lead and hold that for the remainder of the season. I got a couple good opportunities out there. Marshawn does as well. Let's run through it. College football picks. I know we had a couple key matchups. Let me run through those here. A second. So LSU at Ole Miss for number 4 versus 13. What do you think?
LSU, Ole Miss. I like the way they're playing.
Yeah,
I like the way that the young quarterback's playing. So yeah, give me.
I'll take LSU in that game. What about Auburn at number 9, Texas A&M?
Never been a fan of Jackson Arnold. Still not a fan of Jackson Arnold. Give me A&M.
I'm gonna take Auburn. A&M's phony. Oregon, Penn State, number 9 versus number 3.
Oregon.
Give me Penn State. It's got to all come together for Franklin. He's out of there. So let me take Penn State. Oregon, they don't win big games either. Both teams don't win big games for that matter. But
at all.
Let me take Penn State. And then last one, Alabama at Georgia. 6:30 kick.
I believe Kirby gonna get the monkey off his back. Give me Kirby.
Yeah. I am going to say that as well. I don't believe in Kalen DeVore. I think that's not going to work out well. And so let's do that. Let's do Georgia as the pick there as well. And now we have reached the conclusion of our show.
Alabama.
Again, thank y'all for tuning in. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share it with your friends and other fans of teams. And hey, that's Bring the House Podcast. We out. I don't want to get disrespectful.
They better just start burning the page if you see his name. Why is it good for Dak, but it's not good for Justin Fields? Dak is a winner.
Cap. That's cap. Oh my God, bro. No, bro. I'm a Cowboy fan. I got Cowboy hats in the back. I got Cowboy t-shirts in the back. That's cap. And we not taking that.
Our back, Huddle Buddies. How y'all like that one name? Dak is a winner. Season-wise. In his season.
Season-wise.
Yeah.
Season-wise.
Yeah.